Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for the finale of the Promised Neverland, or Yakusoku no Neverland, episode 12. And I think season 2's already been announced for 2020, so that's good and all, but this was really emotional and really good. It was almost like a second part of a two-parter with last episode, kind of, in a way. It just carried on that same basic story that was happening, that we had to stop in the middle of with the cliffhanger. It was just so good. And one thing I really like and appreciate about it was that it was something I think I praised the last episode or two about. It wasn't just like one big emotional moment, but it spent a good time building up a really great emotional atmosphere to where I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, I never really it wasn't like super sad, I'm full-blown crying, that kind of thing, but it was like constant on the verge of tearing up through a lot of things. So it was like just a good basic emotional atmosphere rather than any big moments. But the entire episode's really a big moment. I loved it. So I'm going to talk about it start to finish, then I'll give some general thoughts and a score, and then as usual for finale episodes for a series that I cover, I'll be talking about the series in general for just a little bit, and giving a score for the series as a whole. So to start talking about the episode from the beginning, we learned that Emma's leaving the youngest behind. That's what she's decided. And in a flashback, we see that Gilda agreed with Ray that if they take them all with them, it could lead to their deaths because they're just too young to survive and they'd be holding them back. And as sad as it is, if they go with everybody, it could be killing everybody. So Emma tells Phil about what's going on. This is one of my favorite scenes from the manga. It's really sad where he's like, I wondered what Sister Krone meant by they were being harvested, and I noticed that you seemed scared of Mom and that you were extra sad when Norman left and all that. And so we kind of worked things out, and he comes to that realization once it's confirmed that means all my family members, my siblings whom I loved, have been eaten and killed. So she asks Phil what he wants to do, because she's trying to decide should she try to take everyone or leave everyone 4 and under behind. Because the way she estimates it, they have at least 2 years to come back and rescue them before they would start harvesting people again, because they wouldn't want to immediately start harvesting from that group when the oldest ones there have potential to grow when they get older. So all of that, so emotional. Phil decides to stay behind to distract Isabella with the other children. She sounds the alarm though. Don goes first, and Don goes first over the chasm, the gorge. And I love that in the background for the past few episodes, we've seen them doing these things that were practice for the escape. I love that the entire 2 months here, they've been practicing everything. And even, I guess, technically a little bit longer than 2 months, since Norman and Emma started bringing them in and telling them. So I loved it. They practiced everything. Everything made total sense. And we have the scene with Ray and Norman that was really good, and it was basically just telling the story of now Ray has spent this whole time kind of planning to save everyone by giving up in some sort of way, giving up and letting his siblings die, giving up himself so that the rest could escape, and now they're doing it, they're escaping, and he doesn't have to give anything up to do so. Isabella runs off when she realizes that they haven't found him heading to the bridge because she thinks she might know where they might be going. I love the scene with Ray and Jemima. Her name being Jemima. I don't know. I was like, oh, that's a little, I don't know about that when I first read it in the manga. But I love the relationship just here in this one scene where now that he knows he doesn't have to give up, he's Big Brother Ray, being there for his younger sibling. It's just so good. And there's a change in what happens here. So Isabella comes and she catches up right as Emma's about to cross the gorge. And again, this isn't spoilery, but in the manga, Emma had already made it to the other side and they were gone by the time she made it there. So this scene was anime only, and I actually really loved it. I actually think it improved the scene that she got to say goodbye to her face before kicking off. but also it kind of works because, of course, Isabella can't do anything to stop her. She's already just about to slide down, and what's she gonna do? Cut the rope and send Emma falling to her death? That is the exact opposite of what she would want for so many different reasons. So yeah, I actually really, really liked the change there, and some of the changes they made in general. Isabella putting her hair down, I thought it was just so good and so sad when we get into the flashbacks. I've been waiting because I knew the way the season was going to go. I was like, it's going to be good, and then the last few episodes are going to be incredible, and we're going to get this flashback at the end. And I love that the ending, from the very beginning, the ending has always been, and that's the thing, I was like, I love the ending, but I can't say anything about it because it's spoilery. The ending has been Isabella's backstory the whole time, and I have loved that it's been right in front of our faces this entire time. It's so good. So yeah, I've waited for the flashback. It's so good because it tells the story of Isabella is totally Emma. She is Emma if Emma had given in, because she cared about this person. The person was shipped off and she was hurt by it. She went to escape, but then she gave up and accepted the deal to become a mama. So Isabella is exactly who Emma would be if she had given in. So I love that the decision to not give up is what separates Emma, the protagonist, the good guy, from the antagonist, the bad guy of this so far, Isabella. And though her story is really sad, she's still the bad guy, but that's just what makes it so good. Just showing how similar they really are. So it's so sad. And when she hears Ray humming the song, it was so freaking brutally sad when she realizes that he is her kid. And again, it's just a story where she's been the bad guy the whole time, but she has been through horrible things. All of her siblings died off. She was trapped from the moment she was born in this facility or whatever. Yeah, I think she was trapped from the moment she was born in this facility. It's just so somber and sad. Everything has gone wrong for her, but she's just survived everything she did, and she mentioned it to Ray when he asked why he was born. It was for survival. It's so good. Her story is really good. And then she removes the cloth in order to buy them time as the people, since they aren't coming to the bridge, now they, since they aren't trying to come to the bridge to escape, now the people are going to have to be searching for them in the plantations. So she buys them more time by removing and hiding the cloth. And then she just goes to sit with the kids that are left. The kids who escaped make their escape and see the first sunrise as free people. But I am sad they left out one thing. Again, not spoilery or anything. One thing is when she first realizes that they've left and she's standing on the wall, she thinks to herself, when she's and we even get the flashbacks of her thinking to the kids when they were little, but she thinks to herself, they used to be so small, I wish I just could have loved them normally. And I think that's such a huge thing for her character, because it fits in with what she said when she broke Emma's leg and when she talked to Emma and Norman without keeping up the act for the first time. How she just wants to provide them a nice, loving, happy, stable situation until they get sent off to inevitably die. Until that moment happens, they're going to live a happy life wanting for nothing. And it just fits so beautifully with her character that if the world was different, she would have loved to have been just a normal mom to all of them, but she was just as trapped as they were. She's still definitely the bad guy, but at the same time, she was trapped in it. She was just as trapped as everybody else. She just made different decisions under that situation. So, really great story. Such a good episode. It was, like I said, brilliantly emotional. I absolutely loved it. So I'd give it a perfect score. I'd give it 10 escapes out of 10. So, yeah, now to talk about the show itself as a whole, just a little bit, just quickly. So I think that some things were a little bit questionable here and there, at least toward the beginning when it came to pacing. Other than that, though, I thought it was great all the way through. And I think I would have loved it even more if I hadn't read the manga. I didn't already know some of the mystery, what was going on. I may have liked it more, but I've watched and talked to a lot of anime-only watchers, and they've all really loved it. And I think that says to me that it is good. As an anime itself, it is good. The only thing that I would count as a negative against it is kind of the pacing a little bit is part of this, but it's that if you look at this and then look at the manga, and I hate being one of those people comparing the anime to the manga of something, but if you look at the manga, a lot of what makes it special is when the characters are thinking to themselves, they're planning out their strategy, and there's these nice visuals, and I thought the show was going to do it, like when we had the clock in the background while Norman's running through the woods in, I think, the first episode, or there were some various other things, but there's generally a lot of really cool imagery to go along with what they're thinking. And I thought we were going to get that a bit more in the show, but the show didn't really have any of that. They left out a lot of the thinking and planning. They left out a lot of scenes in general, just some background scenes that developed Don and Gilda and the side characters more. And I was kind of disappointed that they left out those scenes that would develop the side characters more. So I think that's the only thing I would say is a negative. I think even giving the show, there are plenty of one-core shows that go for 13 or 14 episodes. Making this show a 13 or 14 episode show rather than 12 episodes, I think would have helped it so much. Just to not to carry on further than where this ending was, but to add in, or rather not leave out, a lot of the scenes toward the beginning of the series that were left out. There's an episode very, very early on in the manga where Isabella, reveals that she has the number on her neck too, and she's like, I have to do this, or whatever. And they completely left that out, and I was like, that was kind of a really, really important thing to show that she was kind of on the same level as them, and instead the anime kind of did that with Sister Krone, but at the same time, I feel like they shouldn't have left out as much as they did, and that's what keeps me from giving it a perfect score, really, is that I always loved every episode, but at the same time, I was always watching, loving every episode, while thinking to myself, this is just missing some of what makes the series special when it comes to the manga. So, yeah. And because of that, it kind of makes the anime feel like it's missing that something special. But again, if I had never read the manga, I don't know if I would think differently. But at least for me, I think this is a 9 out of 10. So I'll give it 9 families out of 10. It's really, really good. I'm excited for Season 2. And I think Season 1 was great. Like I said, it's always been great with just this tinge of, I don't know. That's why I'm just knocking it a point off of perfect. Because comparing this to some of the shows I've given perfect scores to, they were legit I couldn't find a single thing to say negative about them. But yeah, I guess that's where I'm ending this one. I'm giving the episode perfect score, 10 out of 10. And the show, I'm giving a 9 out of 10. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed my series of reviews on this show. In addition to that, I just put up a video yesterday, I believe it was, talking about the anime for next season, where I'm still not sure what I want to review weekly. So you can watch that, or you can just comment here. You can comment here, comment there, comment anywhere, and tell me what you think I should review weekly next season, because I'm still sort of deciding. I'm still going through that process of figuring out what I'm going to review weekly. So if you have any suggestions at all, just let me know and I'll deeply consider them. So yeah, I suppose that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me again what you thought about the series, or my thoughts on it and all that. Or what you want me to review moving forward into next season. Subscribe for more of the Promised Neverland manga, much more on the channel. I'm going to do the anime again whenever Season 2 comes around. As for the manga, I try to keep the titles and thumbnails as spoiler-free as possible, so that if you're an anime-only watcher, you shouldn't have to worry about that, hopefully. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel, or talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us about this series or anything else, then just ask and I can give you a link. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.